what data sets are in marketing signals. You can see here on the left that I don't have anything there. The data source is connected, but there's nothing there. So basically, I already came back and said, hey, look, there's 52 data sets. It's a Postgres data source, so they're split. The ones that are really important are these public ones, because those are the ones that actually contain our business logic in them. So I'm going to ask, can you onboard all of the public data sets and use Autopilot to create data contracts? And what Autopilot is one of our functionalities that allow you to write data contracts at scale. Basically, it takes a look at your profiling information, your column names, a small sample of the data, and basically comes up with its best guess on what a good data contract would look like. And oftentimes, it's very, very good. And then you, as a data steward, can also iterate on it and get the contract really to a state that's valuable for you, to include your business rules and any checks that might come from anywhere else. But oftentimes, Autopilot is very, very good by itself. And I think the key thing here is just the scale and speed in which you can operate and get started and go from zero to having data quality monitoring on your data source, where previously it was a kind of one-by-one thing. And now, very quickly, by talking to AI, you can set it up on hundreds of data sets. And so the AI is just confirming to me, hey, I'm going to onboard all 13 discovered public data sets, and then I'm going to trigger Autopilot, and I'm just going to be like, yep, go ahead. So one of the things is like, well, I need to onboard first and then do Autopilot. Do you want me to wait or just do the onboarding and then you can ping me again? I'm going to say wait and continue, so that it can poll to see once the data sets are onboarded, that it can then start running Autopilot. Onboarding is now complete, and so it's going to start running Autopilot. And I can show you, so you can see that the contract generation has started, and all of these data sets are getting a data contract that will then contain data quality checks relevant for those data sets, based on the things I mentioned earlier, like the column names, the profile information, a sample of the data. And then basically you can execute on those data quality checks via the data contract in the schedule. And then you can go in and you can look at the YAML version of the data contract, see what's there, see if it makes sense for you. Oh, this column shouldn't have missing values. It does a regex on the measured at column. And you can actually then pick this up and say like, well, this was a great data contract, but for this specific data set, actually, that there are some other checks that I would like to add. And Copilot here has all the context that you need. And it can be like, you can also still be general here, or you can give it a specific check. So you can be like, make sure that baseline metrics is not null, not empty, and write any custom SQL checks that you think are irrelevant. And you can see here, it made sure that that baseline metrics is not null, and it added some custom SQL checks that it thought would be relevant, and you can go ahead and publish those changes, and now they appear here in the data contract as well. So almost all the data contracts have been finished. Something else that is important is that now the data contract has just been created. You're going to want to execute that data contract to make sure that your current, like to get a view on your current state of data quality. So it's first checking that Autopilot is done. We know it's actually not done. There's still a loading data contract here before it does the verification. So it's pretty aware of what's going on in your system. So it's actually saying you can verify the rest while the others are still being generated. So I'm just going to verify 11 contracts. And so it's now going to start the verification process on those 11 contracts. And this will give you a view on the data quality in this data source on all the tables that are relevant for you relatively quickly. This is really transformational compared to previous workflows that involve this. And of course, everything that Soda AI can do can be done via the MCP as well. So engineers can do much more complex workflows than what I'm showing here. But for a data steward, the amount of time that this will save and the scale in which you can operate is just massive. And I'm going to show you maybe in another video a little bit how to just poll about the status of your data quality, ask what's going on, do some light analysis as well after you've had everything set up. And you can see here that these data contracts have been verified. We can take a look at one of these like persons table. So this was a data contract that had 47 checks in it that were all written by Autopilot that are all relevant for this table. And you can see that checks around the emails have failed, around LinkedIn URL, and maybe I'll just show what is the overall health of my marketing signals data source. And it can give you high-level statistics. So the average data set health is 90 out of 100. We have 13 data sets. 5 data sets have no failing checks at all. 8 have failing checks. There's a total of 175 checks. And then it even gives you a by data set breakdown of what's happening. So it's a very, very powerful tool to understand the state of your data quality, not only on an individual data set, but also at a data source scale.